stop killing and wounding civilians in the Gaza fighting. The International Committee of the Red Cross says both parties are obliged under international humanitarian law to avoid attacks on civilians and public buildings. Israeli President Shimon Peres is ruling out any type of ceasefire right now, despite the international pressure, including from the UN Secretary General, to leave Gaza. Here with us now is MSNBC analyst Raghida Dergham, senior diplomatic correspondent for the London-based Al Hayat newspaper. Raghida, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And there is tremendous international pressure here, and there are things going on behind the scenes politically, diplomatically, while we're seeing militarily things blowing up on the ground. Give us a sense of the big picture. What's happening right now to try and reach a ceasefire, even though we're hearing from Peres it's not possible at this point?
I had written this week in the blog, The Daily Beast, that the developments, what's going on in Gaza, could be the most polarizing development for the Arab world in the Middle East, threatening stability there. I think now it can become polarizing for the members of the Security Council because we have a division. We have the United States siding squarely with Israel, then we have the Russians and the French together with some Arab countries trying to find ways to bring a solution, more of a comprehensive solution to the problem, hoping that beyond the ceasefire there will be an approach that could revive a certain peace process, but then with guarantees, with international monitors on the ground. After all, the international community will have a very difficult time watching 1.5 million Palestinians become the victim, caught between both Israel and Hamas. Something will have to be done. That is the big picture, but the details, there are many differences amongst them.
Yeah, you mentioned Russia, and we heard from the Russian president saying that Russia is, quote, seriously concerned over the numerous victims among the civilian population and the grave humanitarian situation. Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council, one of the quartet of Middle East mediators. What's the impact of a statement like that?
The Russians right now are trying to find out whether they could use their influence with both the Israelis and the Palestinians. They are friends with Syria. They can claim to also have friendship with Iran, and the Iranians and the Syrians can influence Hamas. So are the French trying to do the same thing. But the problem is that they really need a ceasefire. For the moment, the adamant position of the Israelis is that no ceasefire, supported by the United States, is creating a very difficult situation, not only for the civilians on the ground, and that's a very difficult situation. Obviously, it's their lives caught in the balance, but it's also for the Russian diplomacy, the French diplomacy, because they need a way out. They need to use their influence, but they can't use it without the Americans being on board, quite honestly.
Raghida Dergham, thanks so much for being with us.
I thank you.
Well, breaking